Okay, welcome to another Vintage League here. Today we're trying a deck inspired by a local player. I was at a vintage paper tournament a couple weeks ago, and a local player, you might know him online as a POW22, played in paper a mana drain, which is you counter your spell and then you get mana equal to its mana value on your next main phase deck with a Portent of Calamity, playing a couple, not four of each, but a couple of each in the deck. And then Portent lets you draw cards. If you can exile, so you pitch X spell sorcery, reveal the top X cards, you exile one for each card type. And if you can do four or more card types, like land, instant, sorcery, creature, then you can play one for free. Paying its mana cost. And Pete was playing this with Emrakul. There was one Emrakul in the deck, and if you made a ton of mana, you could play, in theory, or maybe there were two Emrakuls. Well, at least one Emrakul in the deck. You can play the Emrakul for free, and if not, you can just draw cards for value and play something that's really good for free. So I've decided to try this deck. I'm just going to go fully into it. I want to try and play 4 mana drains, tons of fast mana. Pete was playing tons of fast mana too, to be fair. So 4 mana drain, trying to get extra mana. We're going to try and dump this into a Portent of Calamity. And we're going to try this with not Emrakul, but summon Bahamut, which is a very scary creature. I played once before on the channel in, I think it was called like Bahamut Oath, which is a pretty good league. But this one's kind of fun with Portent of Calamity, because Bahamut's an enchantment and a creature. So you can exile this for either one. Then you get the, let's say you Portent for a bunch and you get 2 Bahamuts in there. You can exile one as a creature and then one as an enchantment, which is pretty cool. And then we've also got, instants, plenty of instants. We got planeswalkers. We've got enchantments. We've got Kindred enchantment too, so we're playing Tarmogoyf Nest because it's a Kindred enchantment. It's probably a little cute, but Kindred counts as a card type. So beyond the ones that you're familiar with, Kindred is another one that counts. It's really the only odd one that counts. Legendary does not count. Snow does not count. A lot of that stuff doesn't count. It's really just land, artifact, instant sorcery, creature, planeswalker. There's battle. We don't have a battle here, but you could play a battle and then Kindred. But Kindred does count, so we're going to play this. Because you can exile this as a Kindred or an enchantment. So if you exile, say, a bunch of cards, you get one Oath, on Tarmogoyf's Nest, you can exile both. One is enchantment, one is Kindred to the Portent of Calamity here. Yep. And then plenty of artifacts, plenty of lands. We're also playing this in an Oath of Druids shell. Since we're playing all these Bahamuts, we might as well play Oath of Druids to try and Oath into them. So that's our classic Oath package there, and our Forbidden Orchards to turn on Oath of Druids. We can also turn on Oath with Oko, elking one of our opponent's artifacts to turn them into a creature if they don't have one. And of course Orchard will give them a token. On top of Oko, we're also playing a Paradoxical Outcome package. So we've got Haymakers in the Oath plan here. We also got Haymakers with PO. We've got all the fast mana. So the idea is we got all this fast mana, including the Mana Vault and the Soul Ring and the Mana Drain. It all plays nice with the Portent of Calamity. And I'm thinking, we can also probably play Paradoxical Outcome in this deck as another way of drawing cards fast mana here. So we can kind of go off with Oath, or we can go off with PO. Another planeswalker here in Karn beyond the Oko. And we can, mana drain into Karn or just ramp into Karn. Karn is one of the best reasons to not be playing Lurrus, so we are going to play one of our Karns. Normal protection, 4 Force of Will, 2 Force of Negation on top of our 4 mana drains here, so plenty of permission. The Tarmogoyf Nest, the Okos, the Urza Saga can actually be kind of like a beatdown plant. We have like all these counter spells against some decks where they're pretty threat light. If we can counter a few key things, the Tarmogoyf's Nest, the Oko, the Sagas might be able to get us there without, a Bahamut. The other thing is Portent of Calamity is just like a pretty good draw spell. You get to put a bunch of those cards into your hand. So even if you don't like exile all 4, just drawing like 3 cards can be quite good. We have Channel. We played this in the Channel Bahamut deck, and that was fun. So we can channel and just colorless into Bahamut, which is pretty cool. We did that in the last video, so if you want to see Channel into Bahamut guaranteed, then watch the other Channel Bahamut League. Oath of Druids, of course, Vexing Bauble, Ancestral Time Walk, just the good restricted cards. Very simple mana base, on color lands, a couple basics. Tarmogoyf Nest you put on a land, so you want to put on a basic ideally. 1 Saga, nothing fancy. Playing 1 Chrome Mox as an additional mana source. I don't have Mox Opal. I'm actually not even sure we have enough artifacts to make Mox Opal good in here, but so we're going to try and play 1 Chrome Mox on top of the other ones. I had 2 Chrome Mox in originally, that might not even be right to be honest, but we're going to go with 1 for now. The idea is like the mana drain 2, and you need 2 blue, so like you got Sapphire, we've got Black Lotus, and then Chrome Mox is the other way to turn on a mana drain turn 1 here. Yeah. Remember to like and subscribe before we get into the video. Very much appreciated, and throw a comment down below at some point. We are playing 1 Spiderman card. No, not that one. Spectral Restitching. So this is the crappy Magic Online Universe Within version of it. The real one actually is a Spiderman card. I'll bring it up here. This one. Hide on the Ceiling. This has seen some play in Legacy, so I kind of stole it from the idea from Legacy players. You can use 1 blue X instant, exile X target artifacts and/or creatures, which is pretty cool. Let's say our opponent, we're playing an Oath deck. Let's say our opponent's got a Containment Priest and a Graft Digger's Cage on the field. We can use this to exile both of them temporarily so that we can trigger our Oath of Druids. So pretty happy with that. You know, even if, you know, you can also in theory use it to like save your Bahamut, or exile the Bahamut and bring it back into play, or exile a Traxa and bring it back into play to get the trigger. There's a lot you can do here. There's like tricky things you can do, like against like PO, you're gonna respond to their PO, you can like exile their stuff, I don't know. You can exile construct tokens, that just kills the construct token. This would have been a cool card back when Urza Saga was legal. It's got a lot of play to it. So I'm gonna try 2 of those in the sideboard, but they're Spectral Restitching here, and because this is the Universe Within version. 1 more trap, 1 more counter for the combo matchups. 2 other insignificance, the mono blue way of dealing with Containment Priest. 2 Hurkyl's Recalls for the Shops decks. 1 Dress Down again for the Hateberry decks. We got a sideboard little bit of a pivot here from the Bahamut. We're playing 2 Atraxas and Serra's Emissary. There are matchups like Dredge where Bahamut's just not very good. In those matchups we're going to switch the sideboard plan a little bit here into the, you know, some of the classic more common Oath cards here. A little less fun, but Bahamut's just really bad in some matchups. And then for Soul Guide Lantern for Dredge. This is pretty light for Dredge hate, but we can also, you know, bring in this. I think with game 1 we're in a pretty bad position against Dredge, but I think game 2 we bring in all 7 of these cards. It certainly gets better. Alright, I'll see you in round 1. Alright, here we go. We are against Francis. local player. He runs the Francis runs the London Vintage Quarterly Tournament here. That's close, but on 1 mana not good enough. Interesting. I think we have to keep this. What do we put back though? Maybe we just run out the... Alright. We're gonna play out our stuff here. Really want to draw a Forbidden Orchard. Forbidden Orchard would be a good one. We don't have a Forbidden Orchard yet. PO would not be a bad draw. I think Francis, I've talked about this deck before at our last tournament, so I think he knows what we're doing here, so it could be hard to get things to resolve here. Oh boy. Interesting. Try and play our Oath of Druids here. Clearly showing that we probably have mana drain up. We will attempt to mana drain their mana drain, which I assume will get countered in some form or fashion here. Could just die to a PO here. There's something in that vein of combo-y stuff. Breach. We get Breach killed here. Cannot quite cast Bahamut. We've got 4, 5, 6 mana. So we would have to drain something to be able to cast Bahamut. Gifts ungiven. I think we will drain that. They can Flusterstorm here. We're going to snap drain. Alright. I think we're dead then. Yeah, we're dead. So the two we pick go into the graveyard and mute. So put Breach and Savines into the graveyard. Now they just get Lotus off of here and they cast Breach and they win. They have enough mana, right? 3 for they got Lurrus in their hand. That lets them recast Breach, and then with Tolarian Lotus, will have enough mana to Brain Freeze as well, so it doesn't really matter. I'll let you see how this works. I can just concede to that because we know they got the Brain Freeze in hand. I think because swap out some of the creatures. The Bahamut's not very good here. We'll keep one in. Bring in Soul Guide Lantern. Bring in Trap. Wait, let's try that. Yeah, we can keep that. Let's start off with the Vexing Bauble. Force of Will, pitching Lorien, sure. I'm trying to play around Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce and stuff. Mana Drain. Because we know we're both playing Mana Drain here. This is not ideal, if no Moxen. Going to cast a Brainstorm. Try and deal with that. Snapcaster Mage. Let's try and drain that. It's gonna get the ending. Stock up, that's okay. Pearl. Oh, they've got a prismatic ending now. They could hit it. Then we can pick it up, which is funny. Actually, maybe we should have let them try and hit the Oath. Then we could have picked it up with Paradoxical Outcome. Trigger our Atraxa here. And we will take a Planeswalker, enchantment, I think land, creature, artifact. Done. So we get 2 mana here. Play out our Soul Ring. Alright, they had enough. We can take the channel out. It's probably not necessary given that we're not on so many Bahamuts. I think that's okay. try that. Keep it. This is down to 5 cards. Emerald. Land, sure. Misty. Play out our Lotus. Cycle Lorien. Revealed. And they got Lorien and 2 unknowns in hand, so I think we are going to fire off the recall here. Got 8 cards in hand, huh? I think we play out the Soul Ring. And play out the Soul Guide Lantern. Second Portent of Calamity is not really what I want. Let's go one more time around here. Try and draw some cards with PO. Let's see if they want to do anything about that one. We're close to actually casting this if we find out one of our Jet or Pearl. So I think I actually am going to pitch a Calamity here. I think that's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe we do want to. We only draw 2, but they wouldn't get the drain mana. That's okay. Let's try that. I think we still let that go. They got their drain mana. Can buy Lurrus, at the very least. Yeah, can't play Lurrus. Can play Lurrus now. I think that's fine because that lets us Oath. Drain that. Alright. Good game there. Off to the next round. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I mean, this is very iffy, right? I think we do keep it, but I do not love this hand. But there's a lot of cards we can draw that make this a lot better, right? Like, a lot. So. Okay. Sure. This is Lurrus PO, I guess. That is one of those cards that makes this hand better. Time Walk, sure. Time Vault. That I have to counter. Or I die. Oh, are we just dead? Okay. Alright. That's unfortunate. If we were on the play, we'd have 2 lands there and we could have mana drained. Now we just lose the Vault Key combo. Wow. So it's not Lurrus. It is Lurrus Pieb. It's like a Vault Key version. They already resolved Time Walk. So we don't even have outs like draw a Mox and Oko it. Alright. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't know what we're on. Just something. I don't think we need too many changes. Let's just try this. Yeah, I thought we were okay there. That's a tough loss. Yeah, I mean, I think we keep it. Again, it's not amazing though, but the last hand got really good. It just did not quite get there. Yep. Yep. That's frustrating. Not going to counter it though. Mana drain's a lot worse now. Are we just dead? They can counter our one open counter spell and combo with PO or whatever. We do just die. Oswald Fiddlebender. I think we do have to counter Oswald. Maybe this was a mulligan. I assume they have a counter for this, but Not like I can sit here and just let them do things. I draw 3 cards. Sure. At least I get to make a Tarmogoyf token. I'm just going to do it now for fun. I want to see what the Tarmogoyf token looks like. I assume we're just going to lose this game. That's fine. That's pretty cool. Alright, we got to make a Tarmogoyf token, so it's all good. We may be dead, but we made a Tarmogoyf token. I'm just gonna F6 here. Okay, here we go. I think I might mic muted there. Hand's pretty garbage, isn't it? We'll mulligan that. That's less garbage. Ah, they got a fan. That's pretty cool. Oh, crap. Alright, fan is about to demolish us. We just want the empty Chrome Mox. Alright, so there's no way this resolves. I think we're just probably going to die, but we do have to try. Yield to all, and they counter this. I'm keeping the Chrome Mox just blank. We can pick it up with the PO. Why did I not play the Soul Ring out? That was stupid. I was supposed to play the Soul Art. That was a punt, but probably doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I was supposed to play the Soul Ring out. Oh boy. We don't have a good Dredge plan either. I kind of went light on the Dredge hate. We got 4 Soul Guide Lanterns, but not much of a plan otherwise. We really need to draw like a Mox in here because I'm an idiot. Otherwise we could have PPO'd anyway. But they're going to have 4 cards in hand, so the chances of them just having another Force of Will is still pretty high. Oh, we got a Grief. Okay, we're just dead. Alright, geez, game 2. We're just going to play this on nothing. And then play our Vexing Bauble. Which got forced, sure. So we literally have nothing, and then they just kill us. Let me give it 1 turn though, 1 draw step. I'm gonna give it 1 more, because if we draw a PO, there's like a world where we stitch something together. Oh no, we don't actually have a combo in our deck, so we have a kind of a problem in this matchup where we don't have a combo. Just hoping to dodge it. I think there's a combo here with the Terror of the Peaks and stuff. I assume. Seems pretty good. I'm gonna scoop because I don't think without Time Vault, even if we got, you know, a chain of POs going, we don't actually have any way of winning, so. Alright. The Bahamuts are not particularly good here. Neither is the Force of Negation, though. Quite a few cards that aren't particularly good here. Karn's bad. A lot of not great stuff. Oh boy. I was just hoping not to play against Dredge. Maybe one more Portent of Calamity. One Utterance. This can hit a hollow one that comes down too early for us. Let's try that. It's a really bad matchup. Sure. I think we try and get one of the lanterns down early. But if they force it, we'll just let it go. Bazaar doesn't maul. It's a very, very difficult matchup. Bridge Thug Therapy. Right, we have to force that. Because maybe I should have pitched the drain. We need the oh geez, really? Alright, we were never winning this, I guess. Fair enough. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, we just weren't beating those hands of double force grief. Just keep 7 Bazaar. That's fine. That is why Dredge is a good deck, because it can do that. I should counter that, I just don't care. We're dead. Yeah, I think even if we draw Oath here, we're probably still dead. Well, we're going to try and take a draw step for Oath to see if we get it. There is a world where we win if we draw exactly Oath here. Do. Alright, we died. Okay, here we go again. I guess that's a keep. Maybe I should have played out the Chrome Mox. That could have been a elked right away. But keeping it for like PO purposes is useful. Vexing Bauble. Okay, I guess we just let that go. think just make a food. Like if we elk, I don't know. Sure. They have plenty of mana. Like, but we can just hard cast negation now, so like I don't think I really need to, yeah, because we have like the hard cast negation. We find another mana source, we've got hard cast Force of Will. 3, 4. Okay. I assume they pop Vexing Bauble? No? Time Vault. Okay. We have to keep open our 5 mana, right? So we're just gonna do this because we don't want them to just kill us. Could use a counter spell here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we just... I think we do elk that. But we still can swing for lethal here. We can swing for 9, they can only block 3. That's fine. That's bad. Yeah, that's bad for us. That would be a reason not to do anything we did there. We gotta elk that. Then we just keep up mana drain, I guess. It's a lot of mana. I no longer have that issue. That's bad for us. 3, 4. They have 2 rings. Mystic Forge, we have to counter that. Yep. Okay. We can cast Bahamut, but then we can't keep up Force of Will. And that's indestructible. It's frustrating. Yeah, we can't. We can't do it. Well, I assume at this point they found a Force of Will, so. But we have to try. Otherwise, we're just super duper dead. Sure. I think we can just swap a token here and win. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think if we... Oh no, we'd have to give them a token. We could have actually... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have to give them a stupid token. So we have to do this. Oh, it doesn't work either. Well, this was just a terrible blunder because it won't have haste, right? It doesn't have haste. And this one's indestructible? Maybe it's not indestructible? Let's see if it's indestructible. I'm frustrated at this point. Yeah, I think I screwed this one up pretty badly. Definitely should have just drew a bunch of cards with Portent and then had a bunch of blue cards in hand and won. That would have... Hard casting Portent with all of our mana there was almost certainly a win. Now we're almost certainly dead in a comically embarrassing turn of events here. Yeah, that was probably the worst turn I've ever had. We're definitely tied for it. It was just comically bad. I'm just gonna F6 here and embarrassing. Alright, that was comically embarrassing. I had that completely locked up and just chose not to win. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Very, 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 very frustrating. Try that. That was... Jeez. Doesn't do anything. Sure. Yeah, no, we can't play both of these on turn one. I'm just tilted at this point. I was just so careless. And we have to try and counter this. Now we have to try and hope that they don't have something crazy here. They've got 4 cards. They got no blue. They could have a ring or another jewel. Now they've got blue. Okay. They have lots of blue. We're dead. Embarrassing. Okay, here we go again. Alright, we're just going to try and jam our Oath and see if it sticks, I guess. And if it doesn't, then so be it. But we're not going to pass that up. We do have other plays here if they, you know, force it. Yeah, we know they also have a Force of Will in hand, which is interesting. We want to draw a Mox in here. I'm going to draw a Mana Crypt here. We know they've got a Force of Will, which is annoying. Because it showed their like low in life total thing changing. Okay. Okay, that's bad. Now we really want a Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt, Mana Crypt, Mana Crypt. That is not a Mana Crypt. Actually, a blue mana source would be fine too. Then we could try and mana drain into we could try and mana drain into casting PO, which I guess off of one Mox isn't that great. A Mox Sapphire. I'll take a Mox Sapphire. Or a Mana Crypt. Either one. I'm flexible. Oh crap, that's bad for us. We probably should have a Scry land in here. Draw one card. I would like one card, please. Just one. One card. I cannot cast blue mana. I think it's the only land in our deck that, besides Urza Saga, that can't cast blue mana. But now it does mean that like any Mox, that's irritating. That is bad for our PO plan. Please play a spell. Please do not make a token. Please, please, please. Bossies. Sure. It's probably our worst draw. The only thing in our deck we can't cast. I think every other card in our deck we can cast at this point, except for Bahamut. That and Bahamut are our worst draws. Well, that's not ideal. Oath of Druids? I think it had to be Oath of Druids there. Now we're just dead. But like they couldn't even counter it, so Oath of Druids there would have actually been really good. Let the dress down. We don't need the fawns. Let's try the Spectral Stitchings. You know about Mana Drain now, so that gets less good, so let's not have a ton of those in. Let's give this a go. If we had one land, I would probably keep this, because that's a lot going on here, but on no lands, I think that's too risky even for me. That's awful too. Alright, let's go to 5. Keep. I think I am going to get the Trop here, and yes, that plays into stuff, but no. That's brutal. Okay, this is just not our league. It's okay. Not our league. Mox him. Alright, it's probably still not our league, but let's try. Still not our league. Okay. Maybe I should have played around Spellfierce, I don't know. You're really supposed to just wait? I don't think so. We're just getting bullied here. Mox him. Mox him. You're gonna spell pierce my soul ring? Rude. Okay. Getting bullied here. Oh, they got Esper too. They're gonna have Containment Priest. Yikes. Okay. We did our best. It was not very good. I'm not sure what I'm drawing for here. How about they play a Treasure Cruise, I mana drain it, and I draw a Bahamut? Maybe that's a scenario where we get to do something? That is not. Hey, we got our Bahamut. Alright, I'm just gonna scoop. We did our best. Okay, well that was a disaster. After the first match where we actually won, we did not win a game. Now, one of these was completely my fault. I think it was this match here. We had game one completely locked up. All I had to do was cast on our last turn that we had there in game one. Portent, instead of miscounting and casting Bahamut and then not winning and losing. So that one was completely on me, but in the other rounds we did really just get bullied, like against Blue Esper Lurrus control at the end here, and then against Dredge we just got blown out, and it was not close. We had some play against the Oswald deck. They bullied us pretty hard too. So we had two white-based Lurrus decks, which are tough matchups, Dredge and Oath. So I mean, it was a tough gauntlet for an Oath deck. Anyway, and then we beat Lurrus Breach, but like pretty heavy on the combo. So yeah, tough couple of leagues recently. What to say about the deck? It didn't really work. I think the Paradoxical Outcome plan was just like, I mean, in the first match it showed it was good. I think we just might not have enough like fast mana for it. I think we might need like, I don't play PO a ton. I think I might just have built it in a way that's not good enough, to be honest. The PO package did not feel good. Tarmogoyf Nest was a meme, and I obviously can be cut. I don't know. I have to go back to the drawing board with this one. That was pretty rough. Alright, see you next time.